Well, a very good afternoon, Kenya. This is your prime news hour here at Younib TV, where the stories are real, the stakes are high, and the truth always front and center. My name is Joseph Kamau. Now, the government has retracted its step on the examination fee. It is now footing the entire bill for the national exams this year, bringing huge relief to millions of parents across the country. Meanwhile, in a twist straight out of a medical thriller, our vaccine stocks hit rock bottom, leaving thousands of babies vulnerable, all because of delayed payments to global health giants. But now, with 900 million shillings suddenly unleashed, is Kenya finally turning the tide on the crisis? And if you thought that was the big story, just wait. Here at Younib TV, we got a lot more. But first, let's have the highlights.
Place after tulienda strike ya last time, tulisema kwa return to work formula right sizing itafanywa, lakini kutakuwa na consultation, members watakuwa cancelled.
UNICEF has confirmed to me in writing yesterday that the first batch will arrive by between the 10th and the 15th of June.
Therefore, we better brace ourselves for fires and accidents and adulteration of fuel.
They almost spend almost 20 minutes kupiga watu, then kuwaweka kwa gari.
Brada wangu mkubwa amechukuliwa na mapolisi ndio wamechukua na hatujui mahali tutampata.
That they're going to supply all the learners with a unique personal identifier called Maisha number. All learners will get that number, and that will be the primary number that is needed to join KEMIS.
Well, let's dive right in. Now, nearly 900 staff may be impacted by the ongoing mass layoffs at Moi University, which the university's academic staff union, UASU, has filed a lawsuit to stop. The institution allegedly disregarded a prior court decision requiring both parties to have talks in good faith prior to any restructuring, and the union is requesting that the labor and employment court issue a certificate of urgency.
That the university has to lay off members of staff so that the university can be sustainable. You know, as you are aware, these members of staff have family, they have children, they have dependents, and some of them have got plans depending on the number of years they have in employment.
Place after tulienda strike ya last time, tulisema kwa return to work formula right sizing itafanywa, lakini kutakuwa na consultation, members watakuwa cancelled. Lakini sasa wametuletea ni kama barak bwana. Unaona, wametuletea na askari, ni kama wametufukuza. Ile service tumefanya kwa around 14 years which I worked for Moi University. They have not appreciated it. I feel betrayed.
We went to court, the employer came to court, and the judge noted that there was some kind of engagement that was going on. The judge allowed that to go on, gave us 2 weeks, over which to negotiate, talk, and come to an agreement.
Now, it's a sigh of relief for parents after the National Treasury allocated a budget to cover the 3 national examinations that will begin in October. The government has also announced that student registration will begin through the new NEMIS system from July 15th, replacing NEMIS. Julius Bitok, who is the chair of the Education Committee, has confirmed that Treasury has allocated funds to conduct the KPSEA, Junior Secondary and Secondary School and KCSE exams that require about 6 billion shillings.
As examinations are concerned, I want to say that the Committee of Education actually made a decision that they will provide the money that is required for exams.
The issue of exams, we made it very clear that the money has to be provided. And I want to assure parents out there and everyone else that there was a commitment from the National Treasury that they shall provide the money and our students will sit for exam.
Is the recommendation of the Presidential Working Party. As to the exact cost, it is going to be a government-to-government arrangement. We are working very closely with the CONSA, who are our technology provider. Is upgrading NEMIS, the National Education Management Information System, to Kenya Educational Management Information System. And we are really very excited to ensure that we are going to create portals for everybody. And this system will cover the entire education system, from from ECD or other basic education, TVETs, higher education, up to research. It will integrate all our institutions. That they are going to supply all the learners with a unique personal identifier called Maisha number. All learners will get that number, and that will be the primary number that is needed to join KEMIS.
Now, on to matters health. The Ministry of Health now stating that the nation's vaccine stocks will be restocked by mid-June. Millions of children who are scheduled for vaccination may have to wait another month due to the Treasury's failure to issue co-financing payments to foreign vaccination partners Gavi and UNICEF. Kenya has been experiencing severe shortages of BCG and polio vaccines. However, Health CS Aden Duale says that the 900 million shillings co-payment has now been made available.
The honorable members had gone into three different hospitals and could not find a vaccine in those 3 hospitals. What seems to be happening to the shortage of vaccines in the country?
UNICEF has confirmed to me in writing yesterday that the first batch will arrive by between the 10th and the 15th of June. So just because of our own late exchequer release. And this will be available, and I will ask even, it was only 1 billion, and we have already sent the money to UNICEF, and they have agreed, they have given us the timeline.
A serious reform in KEMSA. KEMSA will never be the same again. We have secured for them a letter of credit from Kenya Commercial Bank of 10 billion shilling, so that their refill capacity goes to 100%. And never again will KEMSA store the expired drugs.
Now, the Kenya Revenue Authorities plan to incorporate electronic tax records into their business operations is being resisted by small-scale petroleum dealers and resellers. The dealers, led by the United Energy and Petroleum Association, have voiced their displeasure with KRA's deluge of tax systems, claiming that this causes confusion and drives up operating expenses.
In the rural areas is that when people just hear KRA, they will not wait for them because most of them will not afford 400,000 shillings. They will close their stations. But fuel will still be sold because there is the demand. The rural areas require fuel. So what will happen? They will start selling from the houses with jerrycans. And therefore, we better brace ourselves for fires and accidents and adulteration of fuel. That will be the ripple effect immediately. We say we have to pull out, and it's a must. We are remaining with 1 month. Most of our members will not be able to raise 400,000 within a month. No more.
Well, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, we will be talking about the Raila Odinga Stadium hosting the next Madaraka. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. This is Younib TV News at 1. Now, Raila Odinga Stadium in Homa Bay County is scheduled to be turned over to the county government next week. Earlier, Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria toured the updated 12,000-seat stadium, highlighting its symbolism of unity and the nation's dedication to building infrastructures concerning sports. The renovated venue is anticipated to become a major hub for sports and talent development in the area and will also host this year's Madaraka Day celebrations on June the 1st.
Wamesema they were armed na walikuwa wamejifunga uso. Very huge men, armed, ingine with pistols, ingine with rifles, very brutal. Wameangusha hawa chini, wakapiga hawa na bunduki, wakakanyanga hawa.
This stadium we will do tartan track, so that we can have athletes. We will do other auxiliary facilities. We've already asked our teams to make an assessment, including the grass you see here. If we find that it is not as per our standards, we will replace with Bermuda to ensure that this field can acquire the status that we would wish to have.
This stadium has completely changed. It's a 12,000-seater capacity stadium that originally the bulk of the initial works was done by the county government.
I am satisfied with the progress of work that has gone on in preparations for the celebrations, and I'd like to thank very much the national team, the national committee chaired by Dr. Omolo, the CS for Sports, CS Mvuria. He's been here on several occasions to check on the...
Now, following the disappearance of 52-year-old Abdi Karim Omar, the family is requesting that the national government steps in. Human rights organization Haki Africa has condemned the kidnapping and accused President William Samoei Ruto of not keeping his recent promise that forced disappearance had been stopped in the nation. Omar was allegedly abducted on Friday while traveling to Garissa from Nairobi. Here is to that news.
Wamesema they were armed na walikuwa wamejifunga uso. Very huge men, armed, ingine with pistols, ingine with rifles, very brutal. Wameangusha hawa chini, wakapiga hawa na bunduki, wakakanyanga hawa, then wakawa blindfold. Blindfold, ndio wakarusha kwa gari. So sisi hatuwezi sema mtu hawezi kuwa ni shifter, hawezi kuwa ni mwizi, hawezi kuwa, kwa sababu hawezi kuwa na hiyo guts. They almost spend 20 minutes kupiga watu, then kuwaweka kwa gari.
Brother wangu mkubwa amechukuliwa na mapolisi ndio wamechukua, na hatujui mahali tutampata. Na hakuna raia anaweza kuwa na hizo guts akuje achukue mtu na achape mtu, na paka saizi hatujui yako wapi.
Very disheartening to see that abductions are alive and kicking in Kenya. The government keeps telling us that abductions will be a thing of the past. They're telling us that all who have been abducted have been returned to their families. And even as they're saying this, abductions bado zinaendelea.
Now let's shift gears to matters sports. Now the youthful athletes from Lemotit training camp won the 30,000 meter steeplechase event at the Kenyan Track and Field Meet, which was held at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. Aaron Chepkemoi spearheaded the attack, winning the 200 meter semifinals with an outstanding time of 9 minutes and 57 seconds. The fastest qualifier was Zablon Ekwama of Turkana, who established a new personal record of 20 seconds. Weissman also made it to the finals. Dennis Mwai and Brian Okoth, the current secondary school champion.
Ndio ya leo haiko mbaya sana. Hatujakibizana sana, kesho ni tunakoja final. Leo ilikuwa siku ya qualification. Sasa kesho ndio ni siku ya matarajio sasa.
I'm happy with the performance. Okay, I'm expecting more tomorrow. Yes. Looking for the word qualifying times, 22.5.
On our 6th weekend meet. Weekend meet means that we have athletes run all the events that we normally feel that we need to have athletes to qualify to go to World Championship.
Well, and that's how we wrap up today's top stories, from exam courts wiped off the books to a vaccine crisis finally getting the shot it needs. As always, thank you for trusting us to bring you the news that matters to you with clarity and heart. Before we sign off, here is something to leave you a little smarter than you were 5 minutes ago. Did you know that octopuses have 3 hearts and 2 of them actually stop beating when they swim? Yep, that's why they prefer crawling over swimming. Apparently, even sea creatures hate the cardio. For more and exciting programs, stay tuned on Younib TV. Follow us on all our social media platforms and also our website on www.younibtv for more mind-blowing and informative articles. My name is Joseph Kamau, and this is Younib TV News at 1.